Where was Jesus, and what did he do?
Then he went down with them and came to Nazareth. And Jesus increased in wisdom and in years and in divine and human favor. Luke 2:51.
The most we can say about him in his early years is that he walked in silent solidarity with his people, that he was very likely a carpenter, a man who worked with his hands, that he lived a simple life in a peasant village.
But even this is speculation based on the few tantalizing accounts related in the New Testament. Why does the Bible supply so little information? Most of what we know about Jesus comes from the four Gospels in the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
It seems sort of inconceivable to us, but my feeling is that the evangelists, that's what they are. They're bearers of the good news. They're not biographers. They're not historians. Their sense of the importance of Jesus is his spiritual message, his redeeming sacrifice, not details about his personal life. That's something that we as modern people are more interested in.
According to most scholars, the Gospels, as presented in the New Testament, are not first-hand eyewitness accounts. Biblical scholars believe they were first compiled from oral traditions, as well as other earlier sources, and were first written down between 40 and 100 years after the crucifixion of Jesus.
Well, the problem with the Gospels in considering this historical Jesus is that you can't be sure what materials are historical and what aren't. And this debate has been going on for two and a half centuries now. So it's an extremely difficult problem.
Adding to the mystery surrounding the life of Jesus is the fact that for hundreds of years after his death, dozens of other Gospels were also written.
There were probably close to 50 Gospels that were actually written about Jesus within the first 100 years or so of his death, and only 4 of them actually made it into the Bible.
Many of the Gospels not included in the New Testament, called the Apocryphal Gospels, have survived.
There were many other things written. These, of course, never did find their way into this canon of Scripture. But do they to throw any light on the lost years of Jesus? Not really. They tell us odd little stories like Jesus killed birds and brought them back to life, but these are totally irrelevant.